What is going on, everybody? It's Alex back with another video, and today we're talking about Saints Row the Third Remastered that just got its official announcement and will be coming out next month. Now, I would imagine anybody that's subscribed to my channel is probably keeping up with all of the Saints Row leaks and things of this sort. If you're not deeply in the Saints Row community, you're probably not even going to be aware that Saints Row 5 or anything like that exists, so there's probably no reason you'd be watching these videos. So I would imagine the overwhelming majority of you guys probably have heard all of the leaks and rumors about Saints Row the Third getting remastered over the past couple months, and the confirmation and the trailer that released today should really be no surprise to you. Now, many of you guys have brought these leaks and rumors to my attention, and as you guys may have noticed, I've never actually made a video on a Saints Row remastered game, so there must be a reason for that, right? Well, I mean, it is pretty simple. The only reason I haven't covered it is because my main focus is Saints Row 5. I want to focus on the new mainline game that's going to be coming up, and I'm not super interested in, some of the older games, and, this one getting remastered. Yes, it's cool. I will most likely pick it up and play it, but I probably won't be dedicating a whole lot of content to it other than maybe just some background gameplay until Saints Row 5 actually comes out. But the reason I'm making this video, and you guys have probably already figured this out by the title, is that there seems to be a big portion of the community that is freaking out right now because maybe they didn't know about these leaks and rumors about, the remastered game, and now that we have an announcement about this, they are under the impression that this is Saints Row 5, in the sense that this is the game that Volition has talked about and that we've been making videos on and speculating on for the past few months. Everyone is scared that no, we are not getting Saints Row 5 like we thought we were, and we're only getting a remastered version of an old game. Well, I'm making this video to inform you guys that no, absolutely not. This is not the Saints Row game that, they talked about in the earnings call. This is not the Saints Row game that everyone has been talking about. This is just a side project, and I'm going to give you a few reasons as to why we know that this is true. Well, first and foremost, I think we need to talk about the most important reason, and that is quite simply that Saints Row the Third Remastered is actually not made by Volition. It is made by Spearsoft. Now, I've never actually heard of a development studio, Spearsoft. I looked up their YouTube channel, and if it's the correct one, there's only like a couple views and subscribers and stuff, so clearly they don't have a presence there. But obviously, anytime there is a remastered game, it's actually very rare that the studio that built the initial game is the one that actually builds the remastered version. Usually, it's a third-party studio that is given a contract to do this, and they're given all of the assets and everything like that. They update things, piece it together, make sure it works, and then ship it with their name on it, but it's still kind of looked at as Volition's game. This is no different, so there's actually very little intervention that Volition would be doing with this game. It's literally made by Spearsoft. They got all of the assets, everything to work with through Volition, and then they built the game, and then they publish it through THQ. So if you were under the impression that it was actually Volition dedicating all their resources to building this game, then there's no possible way that they could actually be making Saints Row 5 as well as this, but it is very clear that Volition wasn't even in charge of this game to begin with, which means they had all of their resources dedicated to making a different game, which we all know is Saints Row 5, or whatever this next new Saints Row game is. Now, as I mentioned, that is by far the most important detail, but there are a couple other details that let us know that this is not Saints Row 5, that there is a new game, a completely new experience that they're working on. And the next reason comes all the way from the unofficial announcement, I guess. So last year in an earnings call, they mentioned that they were working on a brand new Saints Row experience. In fact, they said that they were deep in development into a brand new Saints Row game. That right there tells you that this is something completely new. It's not a remastered version. It's not, a reimagination of an old title. It is a brand new game. And the wording there is very important. But the final reason that we know that this is not the new game and that there is, in fact, a Saints Row 5 in the works is coming from a YouTuber who primarily does Saints Row content. In fact, he may do exclusively Saints Row content, but his YouTube channel is Mr. Saints Godzilla 21. Now, this content creator was flown out to Volition's headquarters, and he actually got hands-on with the game. Obviously a work in progress, but this is one of the things that we've been talking about a lot in the community when we're talking about the new Saints Row game, because someone actually has hands-on experience with it. Now, if you guys aren't aware, this isn't just some random dude claiming to have experience. This is a big Saints Row channel. In fact, in terms of exclusively Saints Row content, what you would call a Saints Row channel, he's by far the biggest with 70,000 subscribers, and many people have talked about him loving Volition and Volition also loving him. We have confirmation that he has actually been flown out, or I don't know if he was flown out. Hold up, I want to make sure that's very clear, but he went to the Volition headquarters, the studio, and that he actually got gameplay with the game, or at least saw gameplay with the game. Now, he mentioned that it's gonna blow your mind. Obviously, he couldn't give actual gameplay details or anything like that, but just to stay tuned, and this game is going to be epic. If this was just a remastered version, he wouldn't be saying things like that. He would be letting people know that, hey, maybe it's not exactly what you thought it would be. You can do things like that without actually giving away details, and of course, he just said that this is going to blow your mind. Everything pointing towards it being a completely new experience and not just a remastered game. So I just wanted to make this video to make it very clear. I saw a lot of people that seemed confused, a lot of people that seemed upset, and I didn't want you guys to have to worry about that. This is a completely separate thing. Saints Row the Third Remastered. It's probably going to be awesome. It's going to work better. Unfortunately, it's still going to be only running at 30 frames per second on consoles. But if you're playing on PC like I will be, it will be unlimited as normal. But unfortunately, it's not 60 FPS. It's not the high refresh rates that honestly we were expecting. But it is a reimagined version of an experience that I know a lot of you people liked. I know Saints Row 2 and Saints Row 3 tend to be the most favorite games in the community. I am surprised that they went with Saints Row 3 instead of Saints Row 2 to remaster. Maybe a different video on my thoughts on that. But what I've been saying this entire video, if you guys were worried that this is replacing Saints Row 5, fear not. It is definitely two completely different things. Volition is hard at work at Saints Row 5, I can assure you, and we will be hearing more about it very soon. But that does it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for the support. Peace out.
Didn't come to my birthday party. Rude, but they all found time to go fight the warrior. Like, this would be like some